Hello, my name is Robert Hayden. I was the rank of E5, second class petty officer. I do know why I chose the Navy, because as a young child, I was terribly allergic to poison ivy. There's no way I wanted any parts of the Army or the Marines, because they were climbing through jungles, I was like, piss on that. I am not doing that. The Air Force, they don't really have jungles to deal with, but I was like, I don't know if I really want to deal with that. So my dad was in the Air National Guard Army Reserve in the 60s. He was a battalion commander, he was a captain, and he was in charge of a Nike high altitude missile battery for shooting down the Russians if they came over to nuke us, which never happened. So my family had, my dad anyway, instilled a respect for our country and a certain amount of patriotism. I grew up as a young kid when Kennedy was the president. I learned a little bit later on. I remember seeing his brother killed, and I remember watching on TV because I remember seeing that, the videotapes of him getting killed. The strong sense of patriotism. So strong that in 1977, when I graduated high school, I was accepted at Penn State University at the main campus. Both my families were delayed because I was the first person in any of my parents, either their brothers or sisters on any side, any of my uncle, cousins, anybody. I was the first one ever to get accepted to any major college. And I was accepted to Penn State as a freshman, the main campus, which in 1977 was basically unheard of. You did not go there as a freshman. So they were delighted. I was terrified. I went up there, and I still had this deep-seated feeling that I wanted to be in the Navy. Because, like I said, I was terrified about poison ivy. There's no way I was setting foot. I was going, and Vietnam had just ended 2 years before, and and the draft was still something you had to keep an eye on. So I got drafted, and I was like, F that, I'll volunteer, you know. So I went up to the Navy recruiting office, and they did have a recruiting office, which was a ghost town. But I went up there, and there was an officer there, and I said, hey, I'd like to, be in the ROTC program. I'm a freshman. No. He says, okay. He goes, well, we don't have any money to give you a scholarship because it's already been handed out, it's already been doled out. I said, I don't want a scholarship. I just want to be in the program. And he looked at me like I was nuts. He goes, you really, and I explained to him the same thing I just told you guys the last couple of minutes, that for some reasons unknown, I had this really strong desire to support our country. He goes, okay. So I got the uniforms, I got the brass, anyway. After a year, I realized that I was not really psychologically cut out for college. Skip the military aspect of it, just the regular other college stuff. I was not really a good college student, so I quit. However, I still had this desire to be in the Navy, so I enlisted. Now, when I did that, it really, really irritated my parents to the nth degree. So I go into the recruiter's office, and they have these tests you have to take. So I took the test. I just blasted through it, took it out, gave it to the recruiter. He looks at me, he goes, you sure you're done? I said, yeah. So he grades the thing. He goes, all right. He goes, did you ever think about nuclear power? I said, what about it? And at this time, I was still a big Star Trek fan. I was still watching the reruns and he puts on the videotape. And guess who's on the videotape? William Shatner. And he's promoting nuclear power. I'm like, slack jawed. I'm like, I cannot believe that I'm watching Captain Kirk, talk to me about nuclear power for the Enterprise, you know? I'm like, okay, all right. But he goes, but there's a separate test you have to take. He said, that was a good test. You did great on everything you took. So I took this other test. I blistered through that thing. He gave it to the guy. He goes, okay. Because now, based on your test results, you are qualified for anything in the Navy, anything at all. You passed both tests, because the test rated you, I don't know what they were looking at, but anyway, I could do whatever I wanted as far as they were concerned. So the top two levels within the Navy at that for enlisted people was nuclear power or advanced electronics. I thought about it for a few minutes. Then I remembered something my father said to me after he got done screaming at me for quitting college. He goes, you know, I work for Control Data Corporation. This is my dad talking. He goes, you do not want to work on computers. Again, this is 1977, 1978. He goes, I've seen the future. He goes, I'm not going to have a job in another 10 years. He says, you do not want to go into advanced electronics. He says, take your chances with nuclear power. This was before TMI blew up. And long before Chernobyl blew up. America was gung ho on building these places. I said, okay, Dad. So the recruiter didn't really care. He was just looking at numbers to come through the office. Okay. I'll go with nuclear power. He goes, fair enough. And then we went through the regular enlistment process with everybody else. He said, now you have to understand something. When you sign on for nuclear power, and same deal with advanced electronics, you're going to get additional training that the other enlisted people don't normally get. Also, you'll get an additional rank that other enlisted people don't normally get. You come out of boot camp, you'll already be an E4. You come out of boot camp as a non-commissioned officer, lowest level, but you're already you're already 4 steps ahead of everybody else coming out of boot camp. They come out as E1s. But there is a price to pay for that. Instead of a 4-year obligation, you have to sign up for 6. Fair enough. So I come out, I'm making more money. I'm thinking about this. Making more money. It's a challenge. I'm looking backwards. I'm looking in the mirror. I'm thinking, the parents are already pissed off at me anyway for failing out of, quitting college. I didn't fail out there. I just quit. It's like, oh man, I cannot blow this. I've got to make this work. So I said, okay. Looked in the mirror and I said to myself, okay, this is it. Sink, no joke. No smarty comments. Sink or swim. One way, this has got to work. And so I did.